Hey, the name is Sidkriken, and of course, I know a lot of you that have been watching a lot of my videos have been wondering and asking me so many questions that I get all the time. I even get messages from even in my Discord from people who join in and they're like, hey, what is this and that and other thing. So I'm hoping that this video will solve your problem and hopefully save you a Google search away, even though it's probably better, but it's okay. You get to see my face at least a little bit, okay? So for a lot of people that are wondering what even in the hell is RedM, RedM is essentially just like its GTA counterpart. It's a modification that runs on top of the game, so specifically Red Dead, where you're able to modify the game either in single player or multiplayer. So it's pretty much like a modded version, let's just say that. But it's mostly well known for role players and role-playing servers in general. For a lot of people that don't even know, if you do, about role-playing, essentially, you know, when it comes to role-playing, you're playing a character in a scenario or an event that is not of yourself, for my point of view. I'm pretty sure the actual role-play terminology will be right here. Either way, it should be fine. Next thing that you're definitely going to want to do is you're going to want to find a way to install RedM. So I have already made a video. It should be somewhere up here, possibly. There should be a card or something, so make sure to click on that. It goes in more into depth on how to get RedM, how to configure everything so that it works properly, that you have all the right files, they go into the right location so everything can load. I noticed that a lot of you guys do tend to have issues, which necessarily for me, I do not know how to fix any of them except for the issues that I mentioned in the video. If there is any sort of other issues that are there or you guys do present, the best thing I would do is definitely go to the Citizen FX Discord, which is the same people who've made FiveM and RedM, and make sure to go into their support channel and talk with people and some other devs that are there that can help you out to fix this issue. Most of the time, it's usually due to something that someone has done wrong, or if they haven't gone through or whatnot, whatever, but it's fine. Otherwise, it saves everyone a huge amount of time, and including me, because I'm not a know-it-all. I just only know what I can basically tell you and what I know of my own basic knowledge when it comes to RedM stuff. But otherwise, if you really do need some sort of professional help, definitely go through their Discord. I should probably have it in the link in the description down below as well too, if you want to become part of that and learn more about FiveM and RedM and what it is that they're doing over there. Once you have RedM installed and you've already come back to this video, or you possibly already have it, the next thing that you want to do is, before doing any of that, you want to create a character. Now, when it comes to creating a character, you definitely want to make sure that your character has a nice sort of backstory, and that the backstory of that character and everything that revolves around that character is suited to that time. For a good example of what RedM is Wild West. So around the late 1800s to early 1900s. And a good amount of that could play in how you create your characters. So depending on what it is that you're doing, you have to make sure that that character makes sense. You're not just going to be a computer technician in the 1900s. Computers didn't even exist. It doesn't make any sense. Go back to the drawing board, please, okay? There's many other different amazing things. And even if you'd like, and you're probably not the most creative person, Google search people from the Western times. There's all different types of things that go down. Watch some Western movies, look from examples of places where you could get ideas of what kind of character you would want to be, but just make sure that, for one, the backstory, the era, matches all together and molds together, that it makes absolute sense, okay? Another thing that should be mentioned is make a character that is unique to you. The whole idea of what role-playing is it gives you an opportunity to be creative for you as a person, to create a character that you want to be. And a good example for me necessarily is with Kurt Cavenfield. For a lot of you guys that watch my videos or necessarily are first time to this, Kurt is more so the guy that has come from a very hard trodden area in Canada, where it was mostly ridden of crime, thieves, and everything, and has managed to grow up around that environment where he's learned a lot of that knowledge. You kind of get where I'm going with this, right? Making some sort of unique story is key to having a very great character alongside with what it is that you're doing, your motivations or goals. And I know it sounds very complicated, but trust me, it all flows easily once you have the backstory ready, and everything else can come over time with what it is that you want to do with your character and the name of your character, of course, because that's the best part, is naming what your character is going to be. Come on now. After creating character, the next thing that you want to do is find a server so that you can join. Now here, this is where I'm going to say, at the moment in time of this recording of this video, RedM is in alpha. So for anyone else that is watching in the future, these rules do apply, but just fair warning, I'm just kind of being a little bit more brief here. Finding what kind of server that you want to play on is essential to what it is that you want to do and what kind of role play you're looking for. There's all different types of servers. I know that there's many different servers, but depending on what type is very important. And the most popular at the moment is serious role play servers. Now, essentially, there is role playing and serious role playing. The difference between the two is serious role playing is self-explanatory. It's more on a serious level where there's a lot more that goes on to it and more on characters and interactions compared to regular role playing, where that might be put to the side compared to how its other counterpart is, which is, you know, like I said, more serious. Another thing that is very helpful as well too is finding if the server is whitelisted or not. Usually when it comes to a lot of roleplay servers nowadays, especially the good ones, the majority of them are whitelisted. And if you don't know what whitelist means, essentially means that you would have to go through and fill out a form or so to be whitelisted, hence the name, onto the server so that you can have access to it, which is understandable because a lot of these communities and servers are very, very, very strict on what types of people that they have. A very unique term that even for me, as learning more into roleplay and getting into role-playing, I've learned over time is the underlying lord terminology, which of course, essentially, you just don't want to be this, okay? This is the type of person that causes trouble and that just breaks all types of rules for no apparent reason. Don't be this person, okay? Don't be a lord, okay? That's all you have to do. Just don't be this person. After you're done finding your server and you found a nice place to call home for your character, or if you just enjoyed it as well too, the next thing you want to do is learn the rules. The rules are essentially what everyone needs to know when it comes to the type of server that they're joining. Rules are the most important thing when it comes to any sort of server because it makes it sure that the guidelines and the type of community and the type of people that they want in the server are held to a certain standard. And that's very, very, very important because sometimes people truly do not read the rules, and you need to do so you can understand role-playing of that server on their level of what they consider as a role playing and what kind of role play they want. And two, just read the damn rules. It's not hard. It takes 10 minutes to make sure that you can read the rules and you can have fun. Just don't break the rules. As the saying that I'm literally creating right now, don't go around being a fool, otherwise they'll have to use the ban tool. It's that simple. Most of the time when it comes to either someone that is following the rules and they see someone else breaking the rules, or if they're in a moment where they know someone's breaking the rules or anything like that, you have to understand how to really approach it when it comes to rules that are being broken. Most of the time, depending on if someone is breaking a rule and you know they've broken it and you want to go and speak up about it, do it in a way that's obviously respectful towards what is happening. This doesn't mean necessarily just break your character and whatnot and completely just go out of your way to report that person. The majority of the time when it comes to serious RP servers, they want everyone to be in character at all times to make it more appropriate for whatever else is going on and making it a lot more professional because everyone's able to enjoy themselves. When you have a bad apple and whatever else goes down after all that stuff has happened, then you could definitely reach out to someone, specifically a staff member on their Discord, or you can talk or report something. Most of the time, when it comes to a lot of these servers, they do have a support section where you can put a ticket, which you should definitely be very, 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 very detailed about what exactly has happened, how it happened, what had gone down, and all this other stuff. It's happened to me. I know it's happened to a lot of other people, and thank goodness that there's actually even such a thing as Discord so that you can directly talk to a staff member or even put out a support ticket to report someone who's just being an absolute lord. You know, it's the most important thing. And after you're done learning more about the rules, the second most important thing other than the rules is the community. Community is what is really, 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 really important. Now, in terms of joining servers, everyone has a different community and a different vibe to the community. Depending on what it is that you want to do, you can contribute to a lot of these communities in a proper way by just being yourself. And 100% of the time, a lot of these communities are just people like you or me that enjoy role-playing at a huge level and that just have an absolute love or passion for doing it. So at the same time, you're able to find like-minded individuals. But at the same time, it drives interest and enjoyment throughout everywhere of that community, and it's super important because community is what drives a lot of servers, specifically for role playing. You know, depending on what kind of people and whatnot are a part of that. And a good example of that is NoPixel. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh yep, I know he's going to mention that. Yes, of course, I'm going to mention NoPixel. The reason why I mention NoPixel is because NoPixel is a community of role players, specifically a lot of streamers that do tons and tons of role playing on GTA, but necessarily they have a tight-knit community in what it is that they do. And other servers, even though they may not be like that, there's a certain vibe that they have to the community that makes it enjoyable for those people that want to do what it is that they want to do. After just, you know, interacting with everyone and whatnot, just have fun, make some friends. This is a wonderful opportunity for a lot of people that might be scared necessarily or feel nervous or intimidated by a lot of the stuff that I'm mentioning to kind of relax. Think of it like you're joining a friend server and you're trying to get to know people. I know it might be hard because some people might have social anxiety, other things, but that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, everyone's wanting to do the same thing, which is role play, have a great time, and enjoy themselves and make new friends in the process. And that is what really matters at the end of the day when it comes to communities. And last but not least, the golden rule that I'm going to tell all of you is to enjoy the role play. There's nothing more than a lot of people that just don't do this. Some people just take it way too seriously and they end up just having it where it becomes more of like your character is just not even the character. It's more like you at this point. And you don't want to be like that. Again, when it comes to characters and everything as well too, please do understand that people are in their character. And it may not be exactly who they are as a person, or sometimes it might be. Who knows, really, at the end of the day. For the most part, enjoy yourself. Role-playing is more so about having fun, creating a character, being creative, and interacting with people whilst you're that character and not yourself. And as an end result, all of it comes together into making what it is at the end of the day, which is role-playing and enjoying yourself and being a part of a community. Somebody's driving the car outside. That's cute. Either way, hopefully I have went over everything that I mentioned in this video. If there is anything that I forgot or necessarily I didn't get into, feel free to leave it down below and I will make sure to address it or anything like that. But otherwise, hopefully this gets a lot of people into RedM. One of the bigger things that I've always been wanting to do ever since I started getting into roleplay is that RedM is very, very small. At the moment, according to the Citizen FX people, they mentioned that RedM has close to 13,000. And I think right now with what it is that in terms of content that I'm doing and everything that I'm doing right now in this video, I really wanted to be helpful that it can bring a lot more eyes to people who want to do role playing in RedM, because I love Western movies. I love Wild West stuff. It's amazing. Tombstone, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Clint Eastwood, obviously being Clint Eastwood everywhere. Like, come on, man. I just love it. And it's a very, very wonderful thing to do. So I think that this video should help a lot of people kind of get interested and want to be a part of that as a whole, and kind of more so ease their nervousness when it comes to applying for a server or trying to join a community or just figuring out what exactly to do. Everything that I mentioned here hopefully could be helpful to you guys. Otherwise, thank you guys so much. I am a RedM role player as well too, so I do a lot of videos when it comes to role playing in RedM. And if I've interested you in it and there's something that you definitely enjoy, then feel free to sub to the channel. You know, it's always welcome to have a lot of people since I've been doing RedM stuff lately. But otherwise, yes, have fun role playing, guys. I'll see you out there.